Welcome back to my channel. I am Amanda. I am in Zone 8A in the suburbs of Dallas, Texas. And today I'm going to show you around my garden. Let's see what's growing. So my flowers are doing well. And even my begonias are really thriving on both sides. I have some blossoms and the seeds that I planted. These have not yet blossomed. The petunias over here did have blossoms on them, but now they don't. In this garden, I planted some zinnias. I also planted some dwarf sunflowers, but they have not sprouted yet. My zinnias have not yet blossomed. My potatoes are doing well. I noticed that they had blooms on them a week or so ago. The one in the back still has some blooms. So I'm expecting that I will be close to harvesting them in the next week or two, hopefully. My tomatillos are growing really tall. My Spanish peanuts and the round big containers are not doing so hot. The ones in the grow bags are doing a little bit better, so we'll see if they make it or not. We might have to try them again with a more sandy soil. The blackberries are definitely growing a lot. Look how tall this has gotten, and so many blooms on it now. These are dwarf Thornless Blackberry. In this grow bag, I did plant a spaghetti squash seed, but it has not germinated. Over here, I transplanted some squash that were in the strawberry bins. After I had finished transplanting all my seedlings from the seed trays, I dumped all the remaining dirt into the strawberry bins on the fence. And then the squash started growing, so I thought, oh, I should probably transplant it, so I did. Over here, I have transplanted 2 watermelon plants into these containers. They're not looking quite so hot today. I just transplanted them last night, and this 100-degree heat is horrendous right now. We've been over 100 degrees for a week or more. The banana plants, though, are thriving. They're loving this location and the temperature, the light they get. Fantastic. The basil is doing really well, and the marigolds are doing well. And if you look, I have... So this melon has not grown very much. I do have this melon down here. My strawberries over here are not producing very much at all. I don't have any blossoms. We come back to the trellis. We have more melons. Melon here. There's another melon over here. And I'm loving how it's making its way across the arch. And then over here, I have an Armenian yardlong that's probably the optimal harvest length, so I need to get this harvested soon. And again, it's just growing and growing over the trellis. I absolutely love that. It's so beautiful. And I have one melon over here, and I might have more that are hiding that I can't find. So the top 3 tiers in this green stock have different pepper plants in them. I haven't really seen any peppers on them, but this tomatillo, the bottom 2 layers are tomatillos, and this one actually has a tomatillo with a husk. So I'm excited to try my very first tomatillo. I've had salsa verde before, but I've never actually tried a tomatillo by itself. So I'm really excited about that. In this green stock, I have my herbs, which are mostly doing well. The other day I came out to harvest some chervil, and it's all brown. The sun just did it in. In this green stock, I have some strawberries and bunching onions. They're doing okay, just not really producing. I did see on the other side, I have 1 strawberry here and some green ones and a couple blossoms over here, so might get a few strawberries. In this grow bag, I have a strawberry watermelon. The aloe is doing well, and the flowers. Still, this one will probably come back with more blooms. And the grapes are growing so nicely, coming over the arch, just all the way over the arch, which I love. So pretty. And the grapes are growing. There's not very many on these other bunches, but they are growing. This is the only vine that has grapes on it. The other vines do not have grapes. I have some more potatoes over here. This is my rainbow bell pepper, which I do have a bell pepper on, right over here. And then my early sensation pepper, which was eaten and then had to regrow. That one's doing okay. My jalapeno pepper plant. This is after I pulled out my squash and my zucchini plants. I had some extra room here, so I moved some of my tomato plants over here just to give some more airflow through all my tomato plants. This is a sun gold, and it has a few sun gold tomatoes on it. This is an Italian heirloom, and I do not see any tomatoes on this one yet. And back here I have my watermelon. This one over here on the cage is a sugar baby bush. I also have 3 other watermelon plants that I'm using as a backup if my 2 transplants don't make it. I might also plant them elsewhere. So my tomatoes are doing okay. I think they're struggling a little bit with the heat. As you can see on some of them, brown leaves. I still have some fruit, but I'm not getting any more blossoms at this point, or not very many more blossoms at this point. So I don't know if I'm going to get more tomatoes or not, other than what's already there, but we shall see. As you can see, some of them are brown and drying. Others are looking pretty good. Some of them have some leaf curl going on. My Brandywine, which was my problem child before, is still my problem child. Looking a little bit sad. So this sun gold plant, which has been a heavy producer, is really outgrowing this trellising system that I have for it. It is huge and kind of flopping over, but it has been such a huge producer. Right now it's kind of providing some shade for the Dr. Wyche's or Witchy's tomato and the carbon tomato and the hybrid greenhouse tomato, which I think is helping these grow a little bit finally. The Lemon Boy continues to be a heavy producer, and moving to the onions, I still have a few onions that are not yet ready to harvest, but they will be soon. I did plant a ground cherry here, but it has not sprouted, so I probably need to replant something in the middle there. Here I planted a mango or vine peach melon, but after I planted it, I read that they don't normally taste very good, so I might end up pulling that out and trying something else here. I planted a spaghetti squash, and then my peppers. This is a right on red pepper. You can see I have a pepper right over here. And this is my Jalapeno pepper, and I have lots of Jalapenos on this plant. My habanero pepper has the start of one little pepper down here. And then this is my Mamma Mia Rosso pepper, which these will turn red. I have not had any red peppers yet on that plant. The one in the middle here is a mini bell pepper, which I have not had any peppers on. This is my shishito pepper, and you can tell they're lime green, so they're ready to harvest. I'm going to wait until they're 3 to 4 inches long before I harvest the rest of these. Now let's take a look at the old garden bed. The orange hat tomato that I have planted in here is actually doing really well. I haven't actually harvested many tomatoes from it yet, but you can see there are several on there. And I planted some spinach just as an experiment, and yes, it went straight to seed. It bolted. You can see it right here. And most of the rest of this is corn. There's some basil and Swiss chard in here as well, but mostly it's corn. And corn brings back lots of memories. As a kid, my parents grew tons of corn, rows and rows of endless corn. My sisters and I would always harvest corn every summer with my parents. And I just remember being so itchy. The corn creates these, or the leaves will create micro cuts into your skin, and you get so sweaty and itchy picking corn, harvesting it, shucking it, and then having to process it inside. It made for a very, very long summer days. Over here, these flowers are doing okay. This particular one is having a really rough time with the heat. I have to water it twice a day now. I do have blooms in this flower pot now. That makes me happy to see. And you can see my volunteer basil plants. These are the ones that I had. Basil was the only thing I grew successfully in the past, and it reseeded itself, so they're volunteers. I didn't pull them out, I just left them. And then my Swiss chard is growing really tall. Lots of Swiss chard. And I do have some basil back there, a different type of basil. I think that's a sweet basil. I have more basil over here. And then this is my shade flower bed, and this one's not doing great, but it's not doing terrible either. It could be doing better. You can see there are a couple blooms. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when I post new videos.